Okay, cool. So on our check-in today, I got a couple things to hit on. First, let's talk a little bit about your organization.
Okay.
So let's jump in. You and I had a conversation about your email. What was that, about 3 weeks ago now?
I don't remember what part of the check-in.
We were talking about how like your email was just all over the place. You had like 4 pages of it.
So you need to shorten it. I believe we talked about.
No. I was talking about like the organization within your email. Yes. I went into your email to double check if you've been doing some of the things I've been asking you to do, and I'm impressed. You've done a very good job.
I thought you were talking about check-in email. No, yeah, I've been keeping everything I need to.
Do you feel like this is helping you stay organized?
It's definitely helped me keep everything on the first page.
So the problem is if you have too much in there, and if it bounces to that second page, you could have something literally that could give you $1,000 cash, but you got to call it this time. If it makes it to that second page and you don't have a reminder, you're not going to
do it. So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely think that's helpful, especially now. Now that Allie's doing cancellations, maybe less so, but like having to do with some of the cancellations and like I saw the progression.
Well, we're trying to like hone in on you. You know, Sam, if you look at your last 2 weeks progression, I don't know if you know, but you're trending in a very good trajectory. You're selling, you're closing, you're converting. Now, I know we haven't got a home yet, but that's okay. You know, they'll come. But you've watched the Craig Wiggin videos. You got a lot out of it.
I did. I really like those videos.
Your sales ability has improved exponentially. So I'm very happy with what you've done. Now, with that being said, I've got some stuff that I want to go over.
Okay.
So our last check-in, we really kind of hit on the affinity really hard. I pulled all your calls and you're hitting them every single time. What did you do to make sure you hit that? Because I have another person that's having a hard time doing that. Did you like write a Post-it note or something?
No, actually, you said my issue is I always think about it. Like I always just remember to ask. It's more the
where at in the call?
And if I don't get to it, sometimes I miss it. I feel like now putting it in the beginning where I was like, all right, these. So like I always ask like before the BI notes, so like, all right, you have full coverage of the vehicle. If you just add that to the list of the questions you ask at the start of it, then it's kind of hard to miss. So like I had one earlier. We were way. She was like, I was gonna hit BI, and she's like, oh, well, I'm paying $200. I'm looking at we're like $455 at.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that kind of scenario, you got to verify other things too. If it's that much of a disparity between us and them, are there any other drivers in the household?
No other drivers, but there was a claim that I think we were rating because it was like a.
We were rating 20. They may not be rating.
Well, she said that hers did go up about $70, but it was like a $30,000 accident. So I think.
Well, you know that like there's rate caps on things, right? There's only a certain rate you can take in a certain scenario.
I did not know that. So maybe that's why.
Some insurance companies, instead of doing it, they can't make up the rate difference. They just drop you.
That makes sense. Okay.
So let's go ahead and pull this call.
Okay.
I want to go over some of the good things you did.
So yeah, but other than her, this week is just not.
Oh, I pulled your call. I pulled all your calls. Yeah,
it felt awful. Just like you make 40 calls and not a single person decides they even want to pick up and hang up on you.
Yeah. So that was Irene, right?
Yes. Although.
Now that was a callback from you calling.
Yeah, I called and then I think like 20 minutes later she gave me a call back.
Okay. Yeah. So let's listen to this call.
Hello.
Hi, is this Irene?
Yes.
Hi, Irene. My name's Sam. I'm over here.
You hear your pitch level?
Yes. So I feel like I'm still talking a little high.
Well, that's because you didn't say good afternoon.
Yes, and I think it was so that was one.
You could even do it even on inbound. Well, I still, to this day, it's like, good afternoon. Thank you for calling Fibers Insurance. This is Chris. How may I help you?
I think part of that was I was making an outbound. She called, and then Stacy transferred it.
So you were off guard.
I was off guard by the call.
Okay.
So I think that's how this started. Was Stacy transferred? I didn't even realize it was a transferring to me. I thought it was an inbound call to someone else because I was like halfway through a call. Gotcha. And she shot me a Skype message. I just went, oh shit, okay. Hung up on my call and then picked it up.
Okay.
So I definitely was not quite in the zone for that yet.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go through. So you hit your
You're at Fibers Insurance. How are you doing?
Oh, Fine, I have a farmer's insurance already.
Oh, you're with Farmers Insurance?
Yes.
Sure it's not State Farm?
Oh, is it State Farm? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, maybe it is.
Okay, no worries. I was just like, I thought.
Give me 30 seconds. I just want to. Nope, you don't have to leave. You can just hang out. Hey, buddy, how are you? Oh, you're good. Hey, just wanted to run this by you real quick. When you picked it up on the 4th, I looked at my messages. Did you happen to send me a message that you got that and I just didn't get it? Okay. All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that for you. And it's actually lesser expensive, so your rate's going to go down. So it's going to be like 90. You're going to be around $90 a month. Yeah, before I started working with you, you were over 200. Now I got you all the way down to 90. You were at like one. Give me 30 seconds here. Yeah, you were at 150 in December. Then I got it down to 130. Now you're at 90. Yep, Rome wasn't built overnight, but I'm getting you there, buddy. Awesome. Yep, headed your way right now. All right, buddy. Have a good weekend. Bye. All right. All right, where were we? Here we go.
I didn't see anything. I was really hoping I was going to call someone if you were with Farmers. Well, I've got everything put together if you have a second.
Was that English?
Well, there was a little bit of,
You know what they call that? They call that nervous Spanglish right there. Buddy, you're talking so fast, you don't even know what you said. Let's listen.
Fine, I have a farmer's insurance already.
Oh, you're with Farmers Insurance?
Yes.
Sure it's not State Farm?
You did a good job there. Sure, it's not State Farm. And then listen to this.
Oh, is it State Farm? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, maybe it is.
Okay, no worries. I was just like, I thought I didn't see anything. I was really hoping I was going to call someone if you were.
That was really bad.
Yeah, slow down.
Yeah, I get too excited.
You do, but that's okay to get excited. But don't get excited like a squirrel excited.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you were moving at a rate of speed. Your brain went 100 times faster than your mouth. Your mouth couldn't even keep up. So just slow down and enunciate. If you focus on enunciating, it makes you slow down.
Okay.
And you know what enunciating means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm ready. Well, I've got everything put together if you have a second.
Sure.
Alrighty, perfect. So let me go ahead and get your quote up here. So I have here you were looking for insurance on a 2015 Nissan Sentra and a 2008 Hyundai Santa Fe. Is that correct?
Hyundai.
Right.
Perfect. Alrighty. Go ahead and close that window. That was a little loud. Alrighty. So I have just a couple questions. I want to confirm.
Did you notice that I couldn't pick that the highway sound up on the weekend?
Certain occupations. What do you do for a living?
A little bit.
Did you close the window because you were worried she would hear it, or that it was making
I believe
you
I
lose
actually
your
scooted
train of
the chair back and then closed the window.
thought? I know you did, but you can't hear it on the call.
Okay, but I can't. It's
No,
hard to
that's
hear
fine.
her,
That's fine. I
so.
didn't know if you went to close the window because you were fearful that they would not
It's
be
a
able to
little
hear
bit
you.
of both. So
Okay.
I don't want it to pick it up, but it's also like if there's a lot of traffic, it's really hard to understand them with one ear open.
Fair enough.
So
Tired.
Well, congrats. What did you do before you retired?
I worked at the casinos. I was an auditor.
Auditor? Okay.
Does she qualify for an affinity?
I believe that's an accountant, isn't it?
No.
I feel like I've made that mistake once.
That's all right.
Well, I asked
So,
if it was like
we
an
just-
accountant.
That's not an accountant. An auditor, no. An accountant, what an accountant's a CPA. It's somebody that actually prepares like tax forms. That's an accountant. Somebody that runs like the books for an organization. That's an accountant. Versus somebody that audits. That's an auditor. So not harping on you here. I like the aggression on trying to find a discount, but we can't have premium leakage. Premium leakage is really, really bad. And it's something that we can really kind of get slapped on the wrist for, because if they call back and they buy it, if it gets audited, you know what I'm saying? So it's just
I
be,
definitely. It's like an accountant. Yeah, it is. I'm like, okay, so
yeah, she said yes. So you
I also
okay?
was
Sure.
like, I also kind of assumed when she said that, I'm like, okay, so you probably still need the same kind of degree for it.
No.
Okay, so
No.
I'm gonna need to make a post-it note because
No. You need to be cognizant. I don't need you to look at a post-it note every time. You know what an accountant is. An accountant is somebody that prepares tax documentations or runs books for companies and organizations.
I just assumed, I thought an auditor was the same. I guess same qualification, just different job title.
At the end of the day, it's really hard to not give somebody a discount in a situation where you're trying to earn the business.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I've struggled with, but I've had to do the right thing and make sure that I'm not arbitrarily giving discounts.
Yes.
Because that stuff will come back to bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
Because if they do an audit of our book and they say, well, 97% of the business that Sam sold are all affinity based.
They're gonna want documentation.
Well, no, they're gonna want to start digging deeper.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, why did you give this discount? Because I thought they had it. No. Do they? No. And then next thing you know, you're up shit's creek and you're in trouble.
You're gonna have to. You're getting in trouble with the business, and then you're having to go explain to the customer why all of a sudden the rate's gonna go up $20.
Yeah, dude. And it's just So we just got to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's right.
So is that like
I
accounting?
need to start confirming.
Yes.
By the way, because I need to
We can offer a discount for that.
And, you know,
Alright,
Sam,
perfect.
I always tell them, even if they do or don't, oh, okay, great, yeah, we got a discount for that because you haven't given the rate. They don't know.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Alrighty, and then do you know what your current bodily injury limits are over at State Farm?
50 and 100, I think.
50 and 100? Okay. When was the last time that you talked to your agent about these kind of things?
It renews in September.
So this lady actually had a pretty good understanding of her coverage limits. Later on, you go on to explain it. You paint a beautiful scenario. You make two mistakes in it.
Okay.
But you jump from 50, 100 to 100, 300. I don't have a problem with you trying to increase coverage, but you got to do it. You got to do it with a good reason, because everybody on the road could always have better coverage. Everybody on the road can have better coverage, okay? But you got to paint this for you to win. You don't just paint it to paint it, okay? Right now you're painting it to paint it.
Because I think this is the one where I was like, oh, well, she.
This is the one where you add full coverage to a vehicle, you add glass coverage, you tripled the bodily injury limits and the property damage.
Yeah.
And we wonder why we're $100 more.
Yeah. So.
I'm sure you'll call me before then.
Okay. I see. Okay. Well, I want to go ahead and go over the bodily injury limits with you. I do see here that you had 50, 150. So for all of my customers, future clients, I like to recommend going up a little higher than 50, 150, primarily because.
Start with property damage.
Okay.
But we also need to pull out what they're being charged.
Yes, but you said on the last check, you said get through the bodily injury and then go into how do you pay every month. So,
yes, which you do. But I don't want you to pitch the 100, 300
until you know.
Until you know. Okay.
So
now, what you're doing is right now you're figuring out what the BI limits are. Then you're going to illustrate a scenario. When you say you don't like the scenario, that's not when you start going over our price and what we're recommending. Then we say, well, let's figure out what your coverages look like, verify what you already said, and then, well, what are they charging you for those coverages?
Okay. So get their limits first. Go scenario, then go ahead. Confirm.
Let me see what you got. Let me see if what you have is what you think you have.
And then
say, I don't like the coverage. What are they charging you for those coverages?
Okay.
And then they're going to tell us. Now we're not painting it into a box. Now we're painting it into a direction to where now we can go 100, 300. We can go glass. We can go deductibles. We can go full coverage, liability. We can go property damage. You're painting yourself to such a narrow path.
And painting
it's going to be
everything
so hard.
into it, the price is just going to be way more. Where if I knew, okay, so she's got this, I'm going to try and get. I'm not going to recommend everything. We're just outrageous, but we can recommend the 2 or 3.
Now, Sam, if she's like, I'm paying $400 a month,
then you go.
Then you can sell the farm to them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I got you.
I have
Don't
probably
sound-
3 times in my entire career, I have been able to take somebody and triple their coverage, improve their property damage, give them all the ancillaries that they don't currently have, and still beat their price. 3 times ever in my entire career.
I got you. Yeah, I think instead of trying to sell the whole farm, pick 1 or 2.
No, don't pick.
Or
Figure out what they have. Then that way,
yes.
it's hard for you to be able to make an educated guess. Well, it's hard for you to make a guess.
Once you
But once you figure some stuff out, now you can make an educated guess
yeah, so you can go.
on what's going to be most appealing to
So
them.
maybe you want to go. Maybe you mentioned she had full coverage. Maybe you just do that in the glass.
Yeah,
maybe
or
just
that
do-
and the property damage.
Yes.
Because the property damage is the scenario you end up illustrating, but you tripled the bodily injury limits.
Yeah, I ended up doing the whole
I
thing.
know you did. I
think I do
you
that on all of
increased the
mine.
whole gosh damn thing.
I think I always do it instead of like when we touch on everything. I think I always bump all of it up.
Yeah, well, bumping all of it up this
Unless
time,
it's state limits.
dude. So yeah, all right. Well, we'll keep going through the call. I'm going to tinker with this.
There's not a lot of coverage there, especially if you're in a multi-vehicle accident. So let me go ahead and give you an example. So one of the customers that I switched over from Geico had 5,150 limits. She was going down 270 and ended up.
I like the scenario. She had 5,150 limits. You've yet to say that this accident happened with or without Geico. I'm going to fix your scenario real quick.
Rear-ending a vehicle. She came over the hill and didn't see that they had stopped. She ended up pushing that vehicle into the car in front of them. Well, she was totally responsible for both of those vehicles. I believe the total came out to $63,000 in damage. So with her $50,000 limit, that's all the insurance paid out for. So she was on the hook for that additional $13,000. So I always like to go ahead and recommend all my customers. I switched over, got her the higher limits for any future instance. I'm going to go ahead and recommend that we bump.
All right. So look at this. We're at 220.
Without the full coverage.
Without the full coverage, 50, 100, 100, and we still got the glass. We still got the towing. We still got the roadside, the rental car. You don't even need rental if they got 2 vehicles. So you can't drive both of them at the same time.
True.
So I try to sell that, not need it. And then the glass coverage, she already doesn't have it with. She don't even have basic glass with State Farm.
No, but
And
that's
you
why
upsold it. No, I get it. But at this point, Sam, you sold us out of it.
Yeah.
You sold us out of it. She's not going to buy this. Now, at $212, she's paying $214, but you doubled the property damage. You've got roadside assistance towing on both vehicles and glass coverage on the Nissan.
Okay.
How much better does that sound?
A lot better. Because you could sell that.
Fucking
versus
A. Sam, you can sell this. You can still sell this. It's called a redemption call. I'm going to have you make it today.
Okay.
I'm going to have you give her a call back, and you said, we'll finish the call, and then I'll go over with what I recommend.
Up to 100,000, 300,000, 100,000.
Okay.
I'm going to double your coverages
Okay.
for you. And then I see here that you have only the full coverage on the Nissan. Is that correct?
Yes, because you said the 2008 was too old.
Okay.
Is that correct?
It really depends. Is it a base model Santa Fe? Does it have any features with it?
You don't know. You don't care, do you?
No, but I also didn't really know the answer off the top of my head.
Okay. All right. So you're just buying time on this one.
Yeah, this one I'm trying to figure out, do they actually need full coverage on this vehicle?
Okay. All right. So my rule of thumb is pretty much 10 years or older. If it's 10 years or older, you can let them know, hey, we're going to play Kelly Blue Book on this vehicle. So if this vehicle in pristine condition is only going to get you $2,000,
Probably not.
yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, you got to see where the juice is worth the squeeze. So
Because I think I gave the example of like 15 years.
you did.
Not really.
Okay. Well, do you have what kind of deductible do you have on the Nissan? Is it $1,000, $500?
Oh, 1,000.
1,000. Okay. Well, with $1,000
At this point,
it is.
I'm going to back up a little bit, and I'm going to go over your scenario.
Double your coverages. So for all of my customers, future clients, I like to recommend going up a little higher than 5,150 for State Farm.
50 and 100, I think.
One of the customers that I switched over from Geico had 5,150 limits. She was going down 270 and ended up rear-ending a vehicle. She came over the hill and didn't see that they had stopped. She ended up pushing that vehicle into the car in front of them. Well, she was the total responsible for both of those vehicles. For, I believe the total came out to $63,000 in damage. So with her $50,000 limit, that's all the insurance paid out for. So she was on the hook for that additional $13,000. So I always like to go ahead and recommend.
Are you a hero?
Not in this instance.
No, you're zero. Paint yourself as a hero.
Okay.
Okay? So, same scenario. So I had a customer, they were insured with Geico, had that conversation with them about the limits. Fortunately, we switched them over. We did increase their limits. Now, she was going down the road, ended up having, you could do the 70, you can do the 270, came up over the hill. You can go for that word for word. You've done that a couple times, this exact scenario, so if it's sticking with you, stick with it. Push the vehicle in front of it into the other vehicle, causing roughly $63,000 in damage. Had she had the coverages at Geico that she had prior to coming over to us, she would have been on the hook for $13,000. But fortunately, she heeded my advice. She went with the better coverage, and we were able to pay out the entire claim. But $13,000 she would have been left on the hook for.
If we had switched over.
Paint yourself as the hero, not a zero.
I got you.
Okay? That was a great opportunity to make yourself look like a hero. And now you make it look like you had the same coverage and she was still paid $13,000. Okay? So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Okay.
Don't really need to dig in any more than that. One of my things is don't get lost in the coverages. It's really easy for people that believe in the coverages to get lost in the coverages. You're starting to believe in the coverages, which is fantastic, but you're starting to get lost in them as well.
I'm basically still trying to sell the whole farm.
Yeah, and you can't do that. You can't do the whole farm because we live in a real world. We don't live in a world of black and white. We live in a world of gray. So what you have to do is you have to find that happy medium. If you just simply improve the property damage, give her roadside assistance and towing with 5,100 limits, but you have 100,000 of property damage, did you do better for the customer or worse?
Better.
You did. So you can sleep good at night knowing you did what's right by the customer. Would the customer been in a better position if she got 100, 300, 100? And yeah, of course. But some people can't afford that. She goes on later in the conversation. She's just putting new tires on both cars.
Yes.
She's on a tight budget. Now, if you can end up getting this to where, you doubled the property damage, it's better coverage, and it's going to end up saving her, around $100 a year, is that worth it?
Yes.
Hell yeah, it's worth it. So what you're going to do is you're going to have what's called the redemption call. Okay? And it's going to be real simple. You're going to give her a call, and you're going to say, hey, Irene, this is literally, I want you to write this down. Hi, Irene, this is Sam with Farmers Insurance. You and I spoke yesterday, and I was thinking about our call. That's the key. I was thinking about our call. And, there's a lot of coverages that we can kind of recommend. I got to looking. I can do you a great justice by doubling that property damage, keeping your bodily injury limits where they are, and I can still have you save roughly $100 a year. We doubled the property damage. We have you with $1,000 on the Nissan. I do have liability on the Hyundai. We do have roadside assistance on both of them and glass coverage on the 15. And we're still able to save you $100 a year. How does that sound?
And then,
is that the kind of coverage and savings you're looking for?
To go for it then.
Yeah, so do that.
Okay.
Just, hey, Irene, this is Sam with Farmers Insurance. I was thinking about our call yesterday, and, we offer a lot of coverages, and sometimes I kind of get lost in the coverages, but I would do you a great justice by doubling your property damage, keeping your other limits kind of where they're at. This would protect you for the scenario that you and I kind of talked about yesterday. And you're still going to save about $100 a year.
Okay.
Cool beans?
Cool beans.
All right, so over the next 2 weeks,
Okay.
what I would like for you to do, there's some really good videos in MVP
Okay.
that you can kind of watch to really kind of get a good gauge of MVP. I want you to try to watch a couple of those videos.
Okay.
I want to really jump in full board with this MVP. MVP is such a good tool. We're not using it to its fullest potential.
Mm-hmm.
So when you end up having a contact that's an MVP and you talk to them, are you converting them to a prospect?
If it's a good, only on the ones that are a good conversation where.
Okay, so the ones
Yeah.
that are good, you're doing as a prospect.
Yeah, like if I not interested to hang up, or if I go through it and I find out, oh, I'm $100 more. I don't do those.
All right, what do you do with them? Do you keep them in free game? Do you move them?
No, they go to free game automatically, is my understanding.
Yes.
So I log the call, say, oh, we were more expensive. This was the price. I add their price into the quote, and then I just go into the next call.
Okay. All right.
And then
Okay.
it should filter into free game with that knowledge that we are more expensive.
So they can see that. All right, cool. All right, so you do that for me. Watch some of the instructional videos. I want you to start to get a really good handle on it. I'm going to have Shayla do it as well, and Shannon.
Okay.
And then our goal is over the next 2 weeks, we want to spend a little bit of time with it, become really, really proficient at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the lift in sales that we're seeing with you, you're starting to hit. Shayla's hitting, Shannon's hitting, looking like we might be able to actually hit our numbers every month for the whole year. It's going to be really hard for June, July, and August.
So we need to still get a little bit.
So we need to find a little bit of a lift. I think we can get that lift if we're able to utilize organizations through MVP.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think if we're able to get a couple from MVP with the leads that we're hitting, with you hitting, me hitting, Shannon and Jeremy hitting, I think we'll be able to hit all of our numbers and have a freaking awesome year. But we need to find a little. We need to find about $5,000 between with what we already have. If we can hit that $5,000 and we get that out of MVP, bam, we did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Okay. Yep.
Cool.
I can definitely try and find those videos. I also.
Yeah, if you need help finding them, I know where they're at.
Cool. I may need I think I know where they are. If they aren't there, I'll ask for help.
Okay.
I also apparently need to do this GuideWire training at some point here in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to get on that.
GuideWire's completely different, but it's ECMS. We're losing ECMS.
So it's not going to affect.
It's going to affect the way. It's going to affect service.
More so than it's going to affect
sales.
Okay.
The sales is still going to be ran out of
and the quoting system's still going to be the same, right?
Correct.
So I'm still going to be able
Well, no, it's going to be different.
Okay.
It's going to be. Have you ever done an Illinois quote?
No.
Okay.
I'm not licensed in Illinois, so.
That's funny. You're born in Illinois, not licensed.
Well, I moved to Missouri before I got into it here.
No. All right. So it is going to be a different quoting platform.
Okay.
But Apex is still going to run the same.
Damn.
Yeah, so Apex is going to run the same, but then it's going to, when you hit quote, instead of the quoting format you see now,
instead of Express, it's
going to be GuideWire. So everything's all in GuideWire. It's going to take probably 20 quotes for you to get the hang of it.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No. And you don't
to
talk to customers on the fly as much as Jeremy and I, so it's not going to be that bad of a learning curve.
True.
You're still going to have all of your normal stuff ready to roll.
Yeah, the only time it's going to be.
But instead of you being able to get leads done, and let's say you normally take 4 hours, it's going to take you 6 or 5.
Right. Okay. And then on these, you guys were talking. You mentioned 40 good start of the week. I agree. I think part of it is when we're getting 14 leads, or I don't know how much we're getting. I feel like.
I think the only reason we went behind this week, and I've talked to everybody about it, it's because of the carryover that we have from Mike.
That's also true. I spent a good chunk of Wednesday just doing Mike ETN, so.
That's my point. We don't have that this week.
So we should be okay.
There's no reason. I don't see any reason to turn leads down. Leads are fine where they're at right now.
Especially, well, this week's different because like no one wanted to answer the phone, so you can make calls and it's just like, well, they gave me 2 innings.
Yeah, but we did start sending you some Casey leads.
I got a single Casey lead this week and no Manny.
No Manny leads.
Okay. But I got a single Casey lead and they haven't answered at all. So.
Okay. All right. 10-4.
So.
All right,
other than that, we should be good. I've been working with Amber. We need a document signed for some of my customers. Called them. We resent it to Smallwood. He's gonna sign his auto. Kathy said she'd sign hers. So we should be good on that front. And then she was asking me to call some of the leads that she had that needed verified. So, but other than that, I'm gonna go finish my calls and then
Good.
pray to God I can get the rest of my ETMs done today.
The only thing, your progression, Sam, is night and day.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this job.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it well. I would love to have a conversation with you in the 3 years from now, and then say, hey, what would you tell yourself back then? You know, because you're going to be really proficient at this. But you have to make incremental improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Work on the scenario.
Okay.
Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Simply slow down by enunciating. Try enunciating. I think that'll help you.
Okay.
I think it'll help you a lot.
Okay.
Cool?
Cool.
All right.
Those are the two big ones that kind of.
Work on the scenario that we put together
Mm-hmm.
and focus on enunciation.
I gotcha. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I can do that.
And another thing, too, and I'm saying this from a point of love, not a point of being mean. You're starting to get a little bit like Amber to where a 30-second conversation is a 3-minute conversation.
On.
Just general things.
Okay, so out here, not on the phone.
No, not on the phone. Just out here. Like, hey, Sam, this. And then you, like, talk to me for, like, 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just do what I said. Or do what Jeremy says. Or do what Stacy says.
Okay.
Don't turn it into a 3-minute conversation unless it needs to be. If you're long to have a conversation, finish, get to a stopping point, come out for a couple minutes, talk, and then go back to work.
Okay.
You're allowed to come out and have some open conversations and come in my office and talk with me for a few minutes. But just don't bother Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a break, get up and come in here.
Okay.
Or, go talk to whoever you need to talk to. But keep it at 3 to 5 minutes and then get back to work.
That works.
Cool?
Okay. Perfect.
All right, buddy.
I can do that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm going to try and get my ETMs done this afternoon.